Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denanu, and with this video here, we're going to be talking about Justice League. I didn't think we were going to be talking about this movie ever again, but apparently, the stars aligned. All the fans on the internet have been battering down social media with the whole release the Snyder cut hashtag and all that stuff, and apparently, I don't know what happened. I don't know who greased some palms, but apparently WB is actually releasing it on HBO Max, and we're just gonna talk about it for a couple minutes here because there really isn't a whole lot to say, but I figured I'd make a video. I haven't made a video in a while on this channel, but yeah, they said that they were gonna release the Snyder cut of the Justice League in 2021 on HBO Max. And this feels like, and this is just my adult mind, searching through stuff and reading the air, as it were, but this feels like a publicity stunt. This is one of those things where they don't have a Snyder cut version of the movie. It's not like they have a Joss Whedon version and then a Snyder version. That's not the way it is. They didn't shoot half the movie with Snyder, so I'm not sure what the Snyder cut of the movie is going to be. I would assume it's probably going to be just the same movie with extended scenes of maybe some non-CG'd scenes, or maybe the extra scenes that they filmed that they cut out of the movie. Granted, which probably isn't much because they didn't get a chance to finish, their movie and everything. But who knows? I mean, this could be one of those things where, from what people tell me, because I haven't seen it, but I know the original version of Batman v Superman was garbage. As a fan of the characters, I hated the hell out of that movie. Justice League, I didn't hate as much. At least I can see what they were trying to do. I just think that they fumbled the ball in getting there, so at the end of the day, it didn't matter. But with Batman v Superman, they chopped that movie all to hell. So the version that we've seen in theaters supposedly wasn't the same as the director's cut, the Ultimate Edition, whatever you call that version of it, that had those extra scenes of it. I think it was the Blu-ray copy of the movie that had some extra scenes and that made the story make sense. Because if you're watching like the original version, parts just don't make sense, whereas with the newer one, it did. So I think that's what a lot of fans are going to think this movie is going to be, but I just don't think that's the case, YouTube, because it's not the same movie. Justice League that we got in theaters isn't going to be the same movie that Snyder wanted to do. Now, granted, I hated Snyder's vision of what he was trying to do, but if WB had some balls and actually let him do his, his vision, at least I could respect it. At least I could be like, you know what? I wouldn't want to see an Earth 2 evil Superman type movie fighting Darkseid or whatever. Wouldn't mind that at all. I think that'd have been a great idea. It would have been a great idea to counter Marvel's way of doing things. I really do think that'd have been better. I just didn't like the way he took the characters. Like, Superman never felt like Superman to me. Batman going around killing people is just fucking stupid. Granted, people always bring up, well, Batman killed people in the movies before. It's like, I get it, but that's not the point of the character. If you read a Batman comic book in the past 20 years, maybe 15, maybe going back to like the 80s, Batman's no kill rule is in effect. I can give a damn of what the movies did back in the day because they never stayed true to the canon to begin with. But if you're gonna try to make a better Batman movie, you have to have that no kill rule. Even in like the Dark Knight and Nolan's movies, again, that was a big part of the character. You can't just have Batman killing people. It just doesn't work. Unless you're telling a specific type of story or something, like if they did the one Frank Miller comic and just made that into a movie, that's different. But with this, I just don't know if it's gonna make a difference, because they can come out with the movie, they can add those extra scenes that they cut out. Snyder can go in and re-edit the movie, but that's not gonna change a whole lot. You know, they're not gonna introduce Darkseid and, you know, bring back all the actors to reshoot a second half of the movie. They're not gonna do that. That'd be the dumbest thing in the world for them to do. Why would you waste hundreds of millions of dollars on a movie that was critically panned and that damn near shut down your cinematic universe? It didn't make them money. So why would you do that? The only reason I think they're doing this is a way to get people to jump on board with HBO Max. And I don't know if WB owns HBO Max. I'm assuming they do, because I see a lot of their content is moving from the DC streaming app or whatever they call it to HBO Max. So I don't know if WB bought HBO Max, because I'm assuming that HBO would own that, but maybe WB owns HBO. I don't know. I don't follow a whole lot of that, but this feels like it's a move where like they bought HBO Max, or let's say started that up, and they said, well, since nobody bought DC streaming service, fuck that. That's what this feels like. And they're moving their content over, and as a way to get people to jump ship to invest in HBO Max, to promote that instead, they're using this as like a bargaining tool, since they know hundreds of thousands, if not maybe millions of people at least liked Zack Snyder's vision, or assumed that his vision would be better than the Justice League that we got. It's kind of like pandering. That's how I see it. I don't think it's going to change anything. Maybe they're using this as a test bed to see if they want to continue their cinematic universe. It could be one of those things too. But I just don't know. You know, nobody knows at this point. They've just announced and said that we're doing it. They can, you know, announce a year later and be like, oh yeah, we're not doing that no more. So it could be something like that. I don't know if, you know, this is one of those things where it's like people should be thanking COVID-19, because I have a feeling that by the movie theaters not making any money, they got to do just like all the restaurants and all those other businesses that are not essential. They got to make their money some kind of way. So I think this is one of those things where it's like, okay, they're not making money from their movies this year. What can we do to make money? Well, we can release, you know, what footage we have of Zack Snyder's movie and let him re-edit it, you know, and then put that out and at least cater to the fans, or bullshit and act like they're catering to the fans. And then, you know, everybody would have to subscribe to HBO Max in order to, you know, watch it. I think it's a way of drawing in people. Honestly, I don't think that they care about the fans in any kind of way. I really don't. Otherwise they would have did this. They'd have been like, okay, well, Justice League flopped, but like maybe like a year or two later, they'd have been like, okay, well, you know what, for the fans, since the fans want this here, we're gonna put this out on DVD. You know, I think they would have did it like that. But with this, it's like, I feel like they're doing with what they did with the DC streaming service, where like they had their programs on there, so you had to subscribe to that service in order to get it. And this is just a way of getting more people in the door with HBO Max, honestly. I will say this is going to make or break that fan war in the comment section of all those Justice League and DCEU videos and stuff like that, because I have a feeling this is going to come out. It's still going to probably be garbage. You know, it's not going to be, you know, any better. It's not going to be better than Endgame or anything Marvel's putting out. It may not even be better than the original version of Justice League we got to see. So it could be one of those things where it's just a shitty movie, and then all the Marvel fans and the people who don't like, you know, the DCEU for the most part, like you know, people like myself. I mean, I don't rag on it too much, but it's just garbage with how they put it together. But people like myself are probably going to jump on them and be like, see, look, we told you your movie was garbage. You know, but I don't know. I guess as a fan of comic books, I guess more comic book movies out there are good for the, you know, the overall, you know, comic book industry when it comes to movies. But I just think it's one of those things where why do it? You know, I keep looking back at that reason where I keep thinking like, this sounds kind of stupid, but well, you know, like I said, hey, you know, thank COVID-19, everybody needs to get their money this year. So it is what it is. But anyways, fellas, let me stop rambling on here. My name is Dananu, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Peace out.